Hello, everyone. This is Salvatore Snaglia talking about the evolution of sports media in terms of sports broadcasting on radio and television. Nowadays, I feel like everybody has a very easy access to sports on the radio. They can stream it via like NBC Sports or CBS Sports, ESPN, anything like that, Fox Sports. You could do the same thing with viewing the game, broadcasting the game, giving you the actual picture of it. Couldn't really get that one out. I'm having to use a phone right now because my laptop's taking a crap on me, but we're going to make this the best we can. So here we go. We're going to start with the golden age of the sports radio, which was basically 1920 to 1950, because not everybody really had a television then. Television, I'm going to refer to it later on, in 1939. That's when they first started televising baseball. Anyway, basically, in that era, if you didn't have a television or when television wasn't created yet, you had to access it through radio. Literally anything. Meaning, if you weren't at the game, you had to listen to it on radio. Or you didn't know what happened until the next day when it was in the paper. That's also how you found out, like, if there were trades or free agency pickups. Any kind of transactions in the sports world, you'd found out either on the radio because it'd be breaking news, or you would find it the next day or the next coming days in the paper. This is when, that's in 1920, when widespread radio broadcast started in 1920. November 25th was the exact date. WTAW Broadcasting broadcasted the first ever football game on radio. It was Texas A&M versus Texas. November 25th, 1920. That's when it was the first ever football game ever broadcast, ever sporting event ever broadcasted. This brings us to what I referred to earlier, baseball on television. In 1939, May 17th, 1939, this the exact date, Bill Stern called the first ever televised baseball game. It was not Major League Baseball, surprisingly. It was between Columbia and Princeton University, an old Ivy League rivalry. Fun fact, only 400 people throughout the whole country could view that game. There were a lot of restrictions and things like that could not allow everybody, like countrywide, everybody to be able to see the game. Just shows you how difficult it was back then to get out all this kind of stuff. This brings me to my next one, colored television in sports. Now, you would think it'd be football, baseball, basketball, hockey, who knows? But it was actually tennis. It was August 26, 1955. It was the Davis Cup, big tennis match between the United States and Australia. It was covered by NBC Sports. This brings us to on-screen graphics. Whenever you see like a scorecard on the screen when you're watching a football game or a baseball game, any sports game for that matter, that's what we're talking about here. It all started back in 1965. You would show like yellow lettering on the bottom of a screen, like showing a player, like the player's full name, their number, and their statistics, like in baseball, basketball, hockey, football, it doesn't matter. This brings me to my last point. ESPN airing 24/7. Now, it's very usual for us nowadays because we can get up at 3 in the morning, or we wake up at 3 in the morning any moment, and we can turn on TV and you'll see ESPN. Like, it'll be a rerun of what they were covering the same day, or the previous day, until like when they actually go on air for like a live new coverage. This started September 7th, 1979. That's when they started airing 24/7 full coverage of sports, meaning like transactions, like trades, free agency pickups, anything in the sports world that was big, it's on. Thank you everybody for watching. This will conclude my video cast. This is the first time I've ever been in front of people talking about sports and everything like that. So I thought it didn't go too bad. A little bit of stammering, but won't keep you much longer. Have a good night. Stay safe tomorrow.